So we'll start this panel. I'll force myself to be the moderator so that it gets interesting. It's a short one, so I'll just engage briefing and quickly in a very short conversation. So of course they've introduced themselves. My name is Frank. I'm also a blockchain enthusiast. So let's get this started. So I'll start with briefing. We'll just start with asking you, what do you think is the impact of Arbitrum to developers and even to new people that want to learn more about blockchain and developing on the L2 ecosystem?
I think the impact is very immense when it comes to financial levels, technological levels. For starters, Arbitrum gives the flexibility to building scalable applications. And then Arbitrum also have immense opportunities within the ecosystem through the airdrops, community gains, jobs. So yeah, the impact is very immense. From a personal perspective, it's all positive.
Yeah, so maybe there's a lot of, let me call them incentives, building on blockchain. I'm not aware of what's happening on the Web2 side, but when I discovered blockchain, there's so much support. Maybe he's just being modest, he doesn't want to share, but if you build stuff on the blockchain, there's a lot of support in terms of grants. There are things called hackathons, they're very well paying, rewarding. Then, of course, jobs. So those are some of the things that I think he will share in the group that he's made you join, then you can know about them. So over to Wycliffe, now that I've talked about incentives like hackathons, so could you please just tell us about how HackQuest is enabling such kinds of initiatives and the impacts that it has, especially on Arbitrum now that they're one of the biggest partners?
Yeah, sure. So probably, I think a huge chunk still doesn't know me. So my name is Wycliffe Osano. I work with the HackQuest as a developer relations and community manager. Yeah, so HackQuest is a Web3 educational platform and also a hackathon hosting platform. So Arbitrum is one of our biggest partners, and if you navigate to hackquest.io, you can find an Arbitrum course. It's fully free, and because just by interaction with most of you, I realize most of you are still beginners. So the courses in HackQuest, typically the Arbitrum course in HackQuest, is curated in the most beginner-based manner. So even as a newbie from, let me say, even if you don't have a background in tech, you can just click on the Explore course section and get to the Arbitrum course. It begins by the Web3 basics. Then it also, there are 5 phases on the Arbitrum learning track. So the initial phase is the Web3 basics phase. Then we also have the ecosystem overview of Arbitrum from the likes of Arbitrum Nova, Arbitrum Orbit, Arbitrum Classic, Arbitrum Stylus. That is just an ecosystem overview. So if you complete that, you'll get issued a learner's certificate, an Arbitrum learner's certificate, fully powered by Arbitrum, and it's co-issued by Arbitrum and HackQuest. And afterwards, you will now, if you decide to get to the technical part of it, that is the third phase. You get to learn about the basic Rust syntax of how you can deploy and build your Rust contracts on Arbitrum. Then afterwards, you'll get to learn about the Stylus SDK from the delegate contracts and everything. You'll get to learn them on the phases, like the third phase, the fourth phase, and the fifth phase. You'll get to learn about guided projects, how to build a fully fleshed project on Arbitrum. And after all phases, you get assigned an Arbitrum Builders certificate. And this is fully free, and the certificate is recognized on-chain by Arbitrum Foundation. Yeah, and you also asked me about the hackathon initiatives. So HackQuest is also a hackathon hosting platform, similar to the likes of Dora Hacks and the rest. Yeah, but let me just stick to HackQuest. So how we empower such initiatives, like we partner, most of our partners, we have partnered with a variety of blockchains, but Arbitrum is one of our core partners. So like Arbitrum can host their hackathons on HackQuest, and the builders can participate for a variety of prize pools. And through that, you can also get recommendations to, let me say, Arbitrum incubation programs and accelerator programs. Yeah, so ideally that's how HackQuest is bringing an impact to the Arbitrum ecosystem.
That's a really nice answer. So the reason maybe you're wondering why Victor is telling you to tweet, I'm sure all of us here are looking for money, right? So this is how blockchain, the way I've seen it work. So it's a very informal, not very informal, but very casual sector. So after going through stuff like HackQuest courses, it's very important when you tweet about what you're learning, even attending such events. Then after you won that certificate, if you post it on X, you never know who is watching. You can land a gig there. And also the hackathons, you can participate in them. If you're not very technical, another thing that you can be doing is forming teams. I know Martin is a very good UX designer. Kuipo is efficient in writing smart contracts. So you can look for form groups and create. You can even start a startup. You don't have to get jobs, and then you come to the likes of Arbitrum and look for grants. And the grants are huge amounts, and they don't have very many steps like the Web2 are. So that's just a short snippet of what's happening and what Griffin and Wycliffe wanted to share. So just a 1 minute sesh. If you have a question or feedback, you can ask them.
I have a question.
Sure.
So my question is so simple. Where do you see like the future of blockchain going? Where will we go in the How do you imagine blockchain adoption or usage or use cases in next 5 years and 10 years? 5 and 10 years, not another timeline, just 5 and 10 years. How do you see it?
What's your question?
Yeah, my question is, I've seen also other chains, sorry to compare, but then other chains also focusing on past developers, maybe creators and other. So how is Arbitrum structured? Are you just focusing right now on developers and then later expand to other?
Okay, so answer the first with them. So what do you think is the future of blockchain in the next 10 years?
I think probably for me, not 10 years. I think by 2030 we'll have reached at a point whereby a third world country will be measured by the blockchain literacy in the country, and won't be measured by, let me say, energy, because apparently now a third world country is being measured by energy. If your country is still using a generator once the lights are off, that is a third world country. But in the future, a third world country will be measured by the level of blockchain users and blockchain participants. Yeah, so we need to act very fast as a country. We need to push the initiative and like have a global mass adoption, typically for the youths, because ideally most blockchain users on a global scale are 35 years and below. But the boomers already, they don't have an architecture understanding of blockchain. Yes, so that's my response.
So you asked, what does Arbitrum have apart from developers? Yeah, you can tell us about.
Okay. Just like other ecosystems, Arbitrum is also pro growth for different people from different grounds. So it's tailored for developers through its different technologies. It's tailored for gamers. There's a segment for within the Arbitrum ecosystem where it supports gamers, and so many games are on Arbitrum blockchain right now. It supports community. For instance, they've sponsored the Moja Boys Pulse initiative. It also supports the general ecosystem through grants, and it supports all these through bringing security, speed and decentralization. And then grants within the Arbitrum ecosystem is massive and it's open for everyone. So, yeah.
Yeah, so the last few questions, 2 questions, and then I think we've seen lunch, so you're not concentrating. Yes, quick one, then you, my guy.
My question is briefly from the developer's perspective. What are some of the gaps and opportunities maybe startups can tap into in the Arbitrum ecosystem?
Yeah. So personally, I'm building a startup called Nexus Pay, and Nexus Pay is financial infrastructure that makes the flow, makes payment flow seamless, where it's focused on MMMs, it's focused on bridging fiat to crypto, and we try to get into the agentic world. So opportunities that I'd say we stand from getting is having a good developer support within the Arbitrum ecosystem. And for instance, Aquest and Educhain. Educhain is a layer 3 on top of Arbitrum, and basically they get recognition from Arbitrum. Arbitrum mentions Aquest. So in a way, it presents marketing opportunity. It presents developer support. It also presents grants. So basically money and investments. Yeah.
Yeah, the final question.
My question is a bit technical. So assuming that you are implementing an e-voting platform on Arbitrum Stylus,
Okay.
what packages or libraries or frameworks would you use, or which ones can you not do without as you try to implement the platform?
Well, Arbitrum has levels of flexibility, and you have, you're open to use Stylus tech stack, which I talked about. So basically that you're gonna be using the likes of Rust, C++, and C, right? And you also can go the pure VM way, where you use Solidity. And what else? Also Orbit. So you are in a position to use all these, which is open to you. So you're not limited to what you can use and what you cannot use. So provided it's supported within the Arbitrum ecosystem, it's open to you to use.
Now assuming you've used whatever method that you have to create a contract, and now you already have a smart contract, how do you consume it on the client side?
That's very easy. That's easy. So you decide whichever method you want to use. First, you could connect your contracts directly to the CLI, where your users could ideally use terminal, shell, and the likes. Or you could connect it to the backend and then call APIs to your front end. Or basically, you can just import the API if you deploy your contracts using the likes of Remix. Just take the API, contract address, and then I want to believe you understand the connections like between. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where HackQuest comes in with the whole course outline. Everything you're asking is there.
Yeah.
And just to summarize some of the answers, you're asking about blockchain. Smart countries like El Salvador are buying Bitcoin to offset, what is this devaluation of money called? Inflation, yes. So those are some of the things that to me I see as the impact of blockchain as we continue. So brighter people are already leveraging blockchain tech by setting inflation. If you go to, there's a certain small country also in Eastern Europe, they have a whole research and development group on blockchain to curb governance and all that. Then apart from developers, there's so many things you can do on Arbitrum, like contribute on the, you don't have to be techie, contribute on the docs, write articles, make content, so everything is there for you. So I think that's just it about this session. So maybe we can listen to Griffin to give us directions on what to do next. Of course, don't forget to tweet about the event. It helps the community grow and also gives him an opportunity to repeat the same event. Yeah, and follow us. Yeah, I think that's it.
So that's a wrap.
Yeah, three directions.
Oh, that's a wrap for the panel and QA. So next we supposed to, I hope the kitchen is enough for us, or we can basically have things what we need. And yeah, I'm here to support you in whichever way. Then we convene for like a final group photo, and then we can leave at our own convenience.